think financial support is the biggest constraint at present. Students do not have enough money to study, and even if their studies are paid for, it's expensive to do quality research.
There's always a threat. Our students, the way the funding structures in South Africa is set up doesn't really cater for postgrads who come back to the system later in life, because there's cut-off dates age-wise as to when you can get funding and so forth. So that is a problem.
The funding model of our country is the biggest threat. Why? Because one, it affects the quantity and also the quality of doctoral degrees.
We do not have enough qualified academics at associate professor and full professorship levels to take on the job. We don't have enough of those numbers. So that means we have to grow a pool of supervisors into the future. Number two, I would say equipment. Dependent on which discipline you are, especially those who come from the sciences, you need good laboratories.
Yes.
And we generally don't have. There are few universities with very good laboratories, but majority of our universities don't have good laboratories.
Universities try to increase the number enrolled for doctoral degrees so that they can secure more funding from government. And then once they do that, most of the time they compromise the quality, because you find out that they do not have a supervisory capacity to enroll those numbers of doctoral students.
So it's not all supervisors are equally experienced. It's a difficulty. But we need supervisors with enough experience.
But I also think the way that the postgraduate in general, and I know we're talking a lot more about research degrees like masters and PhDs, but other degrees as well, the way things are set up is very individualistic still. It's that idea of a student comes into the system and they have to kind of sink or swim on their own. They have their supervisor, but there isn't a lot of other support structures really available. There might be ad hoc support at the universities, and many universities do have, but something that is really strongly there to help students transition back into university if they've been gone for a while, and also to help them feel at ease, I think is quite important.
We work very much on an individual basis, where it should be more a group effort or collective basis. I think about group supervision. I think about projects where students work together on a specific project. So maybe we must think a bit differently. I'm from social sciences, Nas gets this right, and natural sciences. Maybe we must think a bit differently how we structure our offerings.
Everybody wants to quickly get the doctoral student out of the system, because the sooner they get out, the more the subsidy they will get. And the last one is also the doctoral degree becomes important to the research funding subsidy, in that the universities are also ranked according to the per capita weighting of their research output, which means they do not only count the publications, they also count the number of doctoral degrees, and that affects the ranking. So it actually, the whole thing behind this is the funding model. It causes everybody to run, and most of the time when they run, they compromise the quality.